Hi, I'm 30 years old, and as someone who is officially done with their 20s, I can proudly say that my life got significantly better once I hit the 30 flirty decade. However, there are still things that I wish I could tell my 20-year-old self because, to be frank, I was kind of a mess. As I should have been, it was my 20s. Huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. I will continue to shout this information on any platform, but I highly recommend therapy for everyone. So BetterHelp assesses your needs and matches you with your very own licensed professional therapists. You can start communicating with them within 48 hours. They've got a huge, broad counselor network of over 15,000. So they specialize in a lot of things. There's a lot of range there. I love that BetterHelp wants you to find that perfect, good therapeutic match for you. So they make it really easy for you to switch counselors if needed. Personally, it took me around 4 therapists before I found one that I just 100% gelled with and vibed with. So don't be discouraged if it takes you a minute to find the right one. Right now, you can get 10% off your first month using my link, betterhelp.com/Jen. That's better, H-E-L-P. Join over 1 million people who are taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. I am gonna make things really easy and breezy for y'all and leave that link in the description box, so please pop that open if you're interested. So the first thing I would tell my 20-year-old self is to not let FOMO consume you. I swear to God, the second I turned 20, I already felt so behind. I felt like this itch to rage. Like I expected my 20s should be like an episode of Skins, which is this TV show where it's just like a bunch of hedonistic teens. My reality was actually a lot more different. I was living at my parents' house. I was still in community college. If I wasn't studying, I was at my job, working at a smoothie shop or folding clothes at Forever 21. So it was just like a lot of cognitive dissonance. There was like a part of me that was just like, you know what, like fuck school. Maybe I should just go out and sneak out and just go to this warehouse party and just be free and like live my youth. But then the sensible side of me was like, no, Jen, like you should really just finish up school, transfer to that university. Also, you have no money, so you gotta stay in this job. I really wish I could have told my 20-year-old self and just sat her down and be like, listen, those underground warehouse parties and festivals will always be there. The quality of them is not changing. I swear you have the rest of your 20s to go out and scratch that itch. And I stand by this advice today, despite there being a pandemic. I am hopeful and certain that within 9 full years, there is going to be a way that we adapt and people will always find a way to gather together. Don't be discouraged. All you gotta do is just focus on the responsibilities that you have right now. Continue going to school, continue going to your job, continue being curious and be consistent on anything that interests you. So this segues really nicely to my second point, which is curiosity is a superpower. In my 20s, I had no experience. I didn't know what my passions were. I didn't know what I was gonna contribute to society, but I did have one characteristic. I was very, very curious about so many things, about other people, how their minds worked, and I was very curious about myself. I was always asking myself the question, why am I the way I am? And I think because I've always explored the inner depths of my mind and my world, it's helped me evolve and figure out what I actually wanted to do. So I think a great exercise is to just write down what's on your mind and use these journal entries as data points. And then eventually you'll start noticing a pattern. And once you see that, you can actually make some actions on changing that and growing from it. So this is something that I really wish that I started so much earlier in my life because I've always struggled with confidence and self-worth. I always felt like I needed to get that external validation from other people. I felt like if someone didn't physically say it to me, then it wasn't true. And I think it's because it's programmed in all of us in such a young age. Like when you're a kid, your parent needs to tell you that they're proud of you. A teacher needs to tell you that you're smart. Your partner is supposed to tell you that you're beautiful and you're lovable. Like it's honestly ingrained in our society. If I'm honest, I thought that it was kind of narcissistic or self-absorbed to tell yourself that you're beautiful, to tell yourself that you're intelligent. So instead of telling myself, I was just desperate to get it from other people. Like I essentially made a career of seeking validation from strangers on the internet. And I will be the first to tell you that there will be no number that can satisfy that itch Like even if you have like a million people saying that they adore you, it doesn't matter. It's just this monster that keeps growing and growing, and you feed it by putting more external validation. Like it's just a black hole that will always grow. So I decided to challenge myself and write myself affirmations every single day for a month. And then gradually it became a year. And I gotta say that it has completely changed my self-confidence. Like I feel so good because now I don't need my fix from anyone else. Like I am the supplier of my own affirmations. I am the source, and it feels so damn good because now if someone says something nice about me, I'm like, oh, that's just a bonus. I already know this. The next thing I wish I knew in my 20s was to stop trying to change people. I think in my early days, I genuinely thought that if I just sat someone down, had a long conversation with them, I would help them see the light and they would just change their ways. And there's just so much wrong with this mentality because first off, this implies that the way you see the world is the correct and the right way. Like who was I to say what was right or what was wrong? Like that's just my opinion. And secondly, when you are trying to change someone and help them like for the better, that's just you trying to control them. I love this quote by Anne Lamott, which is, help is the sunny side of control. I think the best thing that you can do for the people in your life is to listen to them, and if they ask for your advice, you can tell them what you think, but don't be offended if they just do the complete opposite. Like people are just gonna do whatever they're gonna do. And if people change, it's not because of you, it's because they wanted to change. You can't change people, but you can change yourself and your behavior. That's the only thing that you have control over. Do not make the mistake of applying every piece of unsolicited advice or feedback that comes along your way. When I was younger, I was just very, very porous to criticism. Like if someone said that I should change, I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. And I think there was a people-pleasing aspect of me. I really wish I could just go back in time and stop myself and examine the situation. If someone told me a piece of advice or like a criticism, I wish I asked myself, does this person know me? Does this person care about me? Does this person live a life that I look up to? And if the answer is no, then just freaking let it go. So I remember I got invited to this very exclusive party at Coachella in my early 20s, and I was stoked. It was at this gorgeous private estate. There was an open bar, there were hors d'oeuvres everywhere, and obviously I was just very, very excited to be out. I was like, oh my God, like there's just mini pizzas everywhere. And I remember someone in my group pulled me aside and was like, Jen, can you stop? Can you stop being so excited? Just calm down and stop being a dork. Immediately, I felt so much shame. I felt like, fuck, I don't belong here. Why did I get so excited about these little mini pizzas? And then for a while, I really just tried to stifle my excitement whenever I would go to an event because I just wanted to fit in and be cool. But looking back, I really wish I just stood up for myself, being like, nah, dude, this is freaking cool. I am excited about an open bar and those little mini pizzas. Like, this is amazing. And as I've gotten older, I've noticed that when you go to these types of events, it's like the people that are appreciative and grateful that are a good time. If you just want to be entitled and be cool in a corner, go do that. But that's not me, because I am a very enthusiastic person, and that shall not be tamed. As I've grown older, I've learned to really embrace my enthusiasm, and I love that I get excited about the small things. And I don't want to dim that for anyone. So in your life, there's going to be so many people that will tell you a criticism or give you feedback, but really stop and think, like, do I care about this person? Ask yourself some questions before applying this into your life. So this next lesson I learned in my late 20s, which is sobriety gave me all the things that alcohol promised me. My relationship with alcohol became a concern to me probably in my late 20s. And it's because I love the way a drink would make me feel, especially that 2-drink enthusiasm. You know what I mean? When you're 2 drinks in, everything is flowing, people are interesting, life is just more vivid. It's also temporary though. Like you feel that way for like an hour, and then you get on to your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th, your 6th drink, and you're just trying to chase something that it's just not gonna happen again that day. If you're just with bad company, then there's gonna be no amount of drinks that's gonna make this situation interesting or fun. And I just got to a point where I truly felt like I wasn't interesting or charming without alcohol. Like I did not know how to socialize without a drink. I didn't realize how much it was impairing my life until I turned 29. I did a dry January, which meant that I didn't drink for a full month, which was a big deal for me because since like the second I turned like 20, I was just always drinking every single weekend. Being sober for a month made me realize, oh my God, this is actually affecting my brain chemistry. Without alcohol, I was more focused, I was more energized, my mind was restabilized. Since getting pregnant, I have not had an urge or the temptation to have a drink at all. And I find myself being so confident and organized and creative, and I find myself super interesting. It's really nice. But I do want to disclose that once I have the baby and he's out, I will probably have a drink here and there, but it will never ever be that relationship I once had with alcohol where I was just using it for confidence. I was using it as a crutch. Now I know that I can still be my best self without it. And that in itself is so empowering. Lastly, the big plot twist is your 20s will not be the prime of your life. This was a dream that was sold to me at a young age. I truly thought that in my 20s, this was just gonna be the time of my life. This is when I would peak. And so when anything good happened to me, whenever I would have some sort of success, instead of being like, yay, I was like, oh shit, no, like, did I just peak? Was that the biggest moment of my life? But the truth is, life just continuously got better, and it still does. I feel like in your 20s, the beautiful thing about it is that there are a lot of firsts. You'll have your first career, you'll have your first like real relationship, your first like milestone, but that will not be the peak of your life. I feel like your 20s are meant to be like raw, sloppy, clumsy. Like if you don't have like at least 40 cringeworthy moments in your 20s, then you're not living your life. Like this is not the prime of your life. This is the time for you to really explore and see all depths of yourself. Like you're on a freaking journey, and when you're on a journey, you're gonna confront like deep dark corners of it, but then you're also gonna see like beautiful light as well. So it just comes with the decade, man. So take off that pressure thinking that this is gonna be the best decade of your life, because you have no idea what's in store for you. And I may be biased, but 30s is looking really promising, and it is wild how life just continues to surprise you over and over again. All right guys, that is a wrap for this video. If you guys would like to leave me any lessons or things that you wish you knew in your 20s, please write them in the comments down below. You know I'll be reading them. I love reading those comments down there. It's great. And if you affirm me, then it'll just be a little bonus Jonas. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.